Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Voices of Atlas, where we take off our shoes and we come in for some dough. Today, we are coming at you with a Star Wars episode. And let's have everyone introduce themselves first. Nick, you want to go off?
Oh, hello. I'm Super Nikenger. I like sitting in X-Wings, and blue milk is not that good. That's my intro.
Is this from your experience at Disneyland?
I have a lot of experiences at Disneyland. I
Well,
very
I
much miss
gotta try
those
it.
experiences.
Okay. Laiba, you want to go?
Hey everybody, it's Laiba, also known as Mixed and Anxious on TikTok and Laiba Hazara on Instagram. Glad to have you guys here.
That leaves me next. I'm Victoria Organa. You can find me at Victoria Organa on all the socials. And yes, I am a Raylo.
Controversial.
Lord it. And hello, everyone. I am the Marvelous Johnny. You can find me at Marvelous Johnny on TikTok. And I was the wonderful host for you guys who's listening at home who just introduced everyone. And as a heads up for everyone here today, we do also have a Discord server now, and all our information is plugged down below on the Discord. So take a look at it before you guys leave today.
Do it.
So yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Dare you.
It's very bare bones. All right, so if you
It's
go in there and you find things that are broken, it's all my fault. I worked on it for like 2 hours. I think it works properly.
Come say hi, though.
Yeah, it comes
Let us
You can
know.
ask us questions. Send us
Yeah.
the questions.
Yes.
You
Just
can get
also-
updates on all of us as well.
Yeah.
Exactly. You can hear from us whether or not TikTok decides to, put one of our videos under viewing because we said something bad or something like that. Or showed something bad in Laiba's case.
Oof.
Ooh.
I feel so bad.
Pistols.
Or we talked about cutting some people's faces off, and that was like,
Uh,
I
mm.
mean,
That was like
that's what's so
I mean,
bad
if you
about
want
that?
the full quote, you got to watch or listen to the last episode on Spotify.
yeah.
Just look up
Exactly.
Voices of Atlas and you'll find us.
Exactly.
But we do have a Q&A panel down there as well, if anyone wants to ask questions, which we'll be answering through the show. So it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, guys. Shall we engage in today's episode?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone's
All right.
prepared.
Well, are we?
We are
Nick, are
all
we?
No,
prepared.
but
We're so prepared. Nick has been grilling us.
I have.
and
I
telling us.
finished all the episodes in like the first 3 days, so I have.
Oh,
been
by
to
the way, we're
studios
talking Star Wars
Oh,
Visions
yeah, Star
today.
Wars
Visions, that's very
Surprise!
important.
talking Star Wars Visions. Not sure
Yes.
if I mentioned that.
Fantastic. God. Okay.
But yeah, let's start off with what was our first exposure to Star Wars exactly? Because mine has become an interesting one, but I'll let you guys start off with it.
I will.
You go.
Okay.
Go.
Okay. I'll go. Well, one time. Okay, this is a very weird story. I was at Costco with my family,
Okay.
and they had this book, this giant book, this like schematic book of like all the Star Wars ships. I don't know if anyone's ever seen it.
Yeah.
I fell in love with it because I was like, what are these cool spaceships? And that's my earliest memory of Star Wars. Because by the first time I ever watched it was like it was on the TV, and I think it was episode 1, like prequels, episode 1. And I was just so fascinated by like all of the spaceships, and like this book was I'd watch the movie with like this thing in my book, like this book in my lap, and just like try to identify the starships that were like flying around. And then there were starships in there that like I didn't recognize. I was like, where are these from? I'm confused. I'm 8. This doesn't make any sense to me.
Fair.
But I think after that I saw Attack of the Clones, episode 2. Is that what it's called?
Yep. Episode 2,
yeah.
Attack of the Clones.
Attack of the Clones in theaters, and then I saw the third
Yeah,
episode.
interesting.
And then but somewhere between then I had discovered that Star Wars was actually like an ongoing series from like before my time. And I was like, I'm never gonna watch those. Those are old. They're awful. Why would I watch old movies? But yeah, that's my intro to Star Wars.
Fair.
Yeah.
I'll jump in, and I have a different experience because I don't remember a time without Star Wars in
No.
my life at all. My dad was a big nerd. He loved Star Wars. He loved Star Trek. So as a small child, we had the VHS tapes of episodes 4, 5, and 6 going. But then as the movies, episode 1, 2, and 3 came out, definitely went to go see it. I was a little too young to be in the theaters, but like I was like 4, and I was like Queen Amidala for Halloween, and we always had lightsabers. So it's a very much family driven thing, but it's just we love space so much. I got a tattoo of a moon.
Ooh.
It should have been a Death Star. That was something my boyfriend was like,
That ain't no
like,
moon.
That's no moon.
you and your brother shouldn't have gotten moons. You should have got Death Stars. And we're like, we would have done it. Why didn't you tell us?
On the other arm?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I got a sunflower. And then the moon.
That works too.
So yeah, it's always been with me, and I've loved it ever since then. So
Fair.
Love that. I think my experience was not that cool. I saw The Force Awakens in theaters, and Kylo Ren. I just from watching that, I was hooked, and I'm like, maybe I'm a nerd now, because I know my dad talked about it a lot, because he was like, I would watch it, like, because he was born in the 70s. He's like, I'd watch it, go to the movie theaters, like our grandpa would like get him tickets, but then he's like, it's so cool to see like my daughter watching it now, because it's just like a generation watching it. But yeah, that was my experience.
That's so sweet.
Yeah. I wouldn't say that's a bad story. That's a good one in my book.
You said Kylo Ren, and like ever since Adam Driver entered my life, my fiance refuses to make me forget about Adam Driver. She's like, "Oh, Adam Driver's in this. We should watch it."
There was
Adam
that new
Driver's in
picture
that.
today, and that was.
I saw that.
Yeah.
For everyone listening here, by the way, today, if I start quoting John Oliver asking Adam Driver to crush my lungs, I apologize in advance. But that wall of a man,
Did you guys see that cologne commercial he did? Where he's like half a
Where
horse?
he's a horse?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
I'm looking this up later. Someone
He's half a
remind
horse.
me. I need to
For
look
like
into this.
3
Is
seconds.
he shirtless?
It's presumed that he is.
Like in the ocean, not in the ocean, but like by the ocean on a beach.
Yeah, it's
Nice.
It's a strange one, but it's so funny because it's like completely serious. It's
I
like a
know.
completely serious commercial, but he's like half a horse. It's oh man.
I need to look into this. But as for my own exposure into Star Wars, I was born in the late 90s, so somewhere in my house, I randomly found a non-legally acquired copy of Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, popped it in the DVD player, and, just started watching whatever was on the shelf, and just one day I came across Star Wars, and then as I was watching Episode 2, I noticed flying ships, bright colors, laser swords, very awkward love scenes, but then lots of laser swords, and then from there I was hooked. From there I looked into Episode 1, and then I was like, oh, there's older movies that like give more context to this, and then I'm like, holy shit, these 3 are even better. What is this?
Anti-old movie. Still anti-old movie. Not watching the old movies. You know what's so funny about Attack of the Clones? I felt so lied to when I found out that like the clones weren't real.
Yeah, same.
No.
They're all CGI. I was like,
Yeah.
what?
I'm like, they're not real people?
I was like, what? I'm 12, man. I don't understand that concept. What do you mean they weren't there?
This doesn't make sense. What is this?
What's that new TikTok audio?
I should do that. God, yeah.
Do it.
Oh man. Well, hopefully we might actually get like a clone trooper armor in the Obi-Wan. Hopefully, like in the Obi-Wan.
Here's
show.
hoping for Cody. Here's hoping for
For
Cody.
yeah.
Yeah.
The clones are my favorite characters.
Okay, so that's one thing I didn't grow up with Star Wars wise is I didn't really realize there was TV shows.
Ah.
Same.
Fair.
So I completely missed that. I'm just like, I like Ahsoka's cool and whatever. I'm like, I only found out about her like in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
I've been a fan all my 25 years, but what?
Funny enough, I don't think I ever would have watched Clone Wars if I didn't go to Disneyland in California the year I did, because that was the year Clone Wars was premiering, and I walked by the red carpets, and I just saw freaking clone troopers lining up at the red carpet. I'm like, what is this? There's another Star Wars movie, and it's a cartoon. I gotta go watch it when I get back home. So yeah,
I don't think the show started off very well. I think it was like the first 3 seasons
No.
were like not good.
no,
Because
they
they were like,
weren't.
I
the
didn't make
best.
it past those.
yeah, because they're very.
Everyone tells me to skip it, but
Yeah.
I also just don't have the time.
It's a
Like,
very.
I have.
It's a commitment. Like
It
what,
is, yeah.
7 seasons?
Yeah.
Yes. And I've
it's
had
a
to like
commitment.
compile a list of what order and the essential episodes to say
Yeah.
the least.
It's a little tough.
It's one of
Yeah.
those like I'm doing chores.
but I hear
and
it's
putting
the
in
best
background.
thing. But I'm just like,
Yeah.
I need the time. I need a sabbatical. Is what I need.
You need to find it. You definitely
Star
do.
Wars sabbatical. Register myself as a Sith because apparently that's a registered religion, and then take a sabbatical and then
I'll have
watch
to look
Star
into
Wars.
that.
Laiba, have you watched Clone Wars?
I have not.
Like any of it at all?
No.
Yeah.
How about
It's-
you, Nick?
Fake
I
fan.
mean, the first three seasons was like I'm doing chores and I'm putting this thing on the background, and I'll kind of
Okay.
follow along because like the first
Okay.
3 are like anthologies. They kind of
Yes.
just happen at random. It's
Mhm.
not until like season 4 it becomes like a continuous story.
Yeah.
Um,
The moment Darth Maul comes in, I'm like,
that's
we're
a
in
cool
this.
story. Yeah. And then that's a part of I guess it's Obi-Wan's story with Satine and the Mandalorian Queen.
Mhm.
That made me cry. I was upset.
We won't spoil
Anyway,
too much for you guys.
I mean, I've seen the spoilers. I
Oh,
have
yeah.
a little
Okay.
Satine pin, and I'm like, she's a badass woman in Star Wars. I gotta collect
She
that.
is. She's definitely one of them. And if people can't tell, I do quite enjoy the Bad Batch based off my wallpaper here for those of you watching at home right now. But yeah, so now we've discussed our first exposure to Star Wars. What aspect of Star Wars do you really like though? Like, because I feel like that ranges a lot for different people.
Mhm.
Space,
Space.
spaceships,
Space
The
wars.
laser
final
swords.
frontier.
Laser swords.
No, I love
Fans.
is that Nick and I we were on Choco's podcast yesterday, and it's
Yeah.
just like space, and I want to drive a spaceship. I want to do all that. We concluded I was an A-wing, you were an X-wing, X-wing pilot. I just the travel. It's just like the stories are limitless. Like it's so expansive of a universe. Like there's like so much opportunity there. I just love that. Also, it reminds me of my family, of course, but like that's the key thing.
Mhm.
Also, Queen Amidala. Just the fashion.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
like now I realize I'm just like, oh right, yeah, it's all like Asian inspired too. That's freaking dope. I mean, should they have been taking it? I don't know, but she was my favorite. And
Now we
I
know
collect
why.
a lot of the dolls because of the fashion, because I wanted to be a fashion designer growing up. So I'm like, this is the coolest thing ever.
There you go.
But that's a little bit of some of my favorite parts.
Fair, fair.
I think for me, it's just like the world building, because I think it's so cool how they built this entire universe.
Mhm.
I don't know, and just like connect it to like multiple stories, and it can relate to everybody. Like everybody can
Mhm.
relate to Star Wars, like
Mhm.
into like certain aspects of it. So that's what I love about it.
Fair.
I think for me, it is. I think for a while it didn't dawn on me like this isn't sci-fi, this is fantasy, and like that was like the biggest lie I told myself for years. I was like, oh, this is definitely sci-fi, and then I learned what actual sci-fi was. I was like, this is definitely fantasy, and understanding that kind of concept is what makes Star Wars so great. It's like, yeah, there's all this tech and there's all this space travel and stuff like that, but it's not. It's like you can have compelling stories in space, which I always thought were boring, which I always thought was weird because I can't watch like Battlestar Galactica or Star Trek. They're not interesting to me.
Yeah.
In comparison to like, Star Wars, which has like that fantasy element, space wizards, but also just the X-wings and just all of the spaceships. Those are all like the
Yes.
immediate draw. Yeah,
Airplane.
exactly. Just all
All
of
that
the
good
ships.
stuff.
Again,
Yeah.
I had that book that just like was a schematic of like all of the spaceships. And
Mm-hmm.
I was like obsessed with this thing. I was like, cool. And then I found out there was another one. I was like, this is so cool. It doesn't make any sense. Like none of this makes any sense. I don't understand this. but it was cool to me, and it was just fun to see like how much detail these people were putting into this like universe.
Yeah. I think for me, where it comes from is just like you mentioned, like it's fantasy in space. But for me, like after watching Saves as well as The Mandalorian, it's the fact that it's almost like some Marvel movies where, like, yeah, it's a superhero movie, or in Star Wars case, it's a sci-fi-ish movie. But within that, there's a greater genre at work, right? Whereas Mando is very much a Western in space, whereas
Mhm.
they are Skywalker Saga is very much just fantasy in space. It's just your knights, your princesses, all that, right?
Yeah. Oh, I also want to add to I think droids. They're slowly becoming
Right.
not slowly, greatly becoming my favorite thing.
Oh yeah.
BD1,
They also
BD1
make
video games
no
of it.
sense, but I love it. Also, like we'll get into it too with some of the Vision stuff, but watching some of the Visions episodes, I'm like,
it makes you appreciate the droids. Let's be
I
honest here,
also-
droids. Oh, sorry.
I was going to say controversial opinion. I love C3PO. I love him
I
so
don't think
much.
that's
I think you
controversial.
can develop an appreciation for
Yeah.
C-3PO after you
100%.
understand his
like,
purpose.
I know
Yeah.
know so many people who are just like, but he's annoying, and they treat him how like everyone treats him.
Yeah.
I'm just like, but he's just trying his best, man.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's
Especially like
kinda
in
funny.
Rise of Skywalker.
It's just kind of funny.
I love the moment where everyone just looks at him and then he just looks back as well. He's like, what?
It's sad though, like you think about it, he saw like 3 generations of Skywalker. And
Nobody
he's-
like gives him any respect.
Yeah.
No.
At all.
He's
No,
lived
they
through
don't.
3 traumatic like galaxy events, and he's like, I got a red arm now. And no one's like, oh, okay, you know,
It's
whatever,
like,
forget what
get
I'm
the
doing.
hell out of here. But no, I think there's definitely should be an appreciation for C-3PO, and we do
Mhm.
love him. But yeah, no, droids are honestly, in my opinion, like the heart of Star Wars sometimes, to say the least.
Oh, 100%.
Honestly.
Yeah, especially as we'll talk about in Star Wars Visions.
Well,
But yeah.
yeah.
The closer
Now
we
we
get to
meant-
this, the more nervous I
Yeah.
get.
I mean, we mentioned like what aspects we like, but like, what is our favorite movie? Because I feel like this is where some tension might come up in our comment sections here. But let's find out.
I do see
Okay,
something.
open
here
chat.
saying- The
I opened up the
droids.
chat just in case.
Bruh, who are you?
How about I start off? I'll go with
I-
like the.
I have taste.
Oh.
I mean, we'll find out.
We have heart. We have heart.
Yeah,
for
I'll
these.
start
Like-
off because I'm basic. I do love Empire Strikes Back. That is my absolute favorite Star Wars movie.
Uh-huh.
However, I also deep down I really like Solo. I know like not too many people like Solo, but
It's a fun movie.
It's a
it's
fun
a good movie. Donald Glover's in it, and I simp for that man. That man is
he's
amazing.
He's my favorite. I just
Yeah.
love him in everything.
I have a figure of him in my room for a reason.
He was
But
like the one poster I got in like my first university poster sale. It's just like childish Gambino. I'm like, yes.
I enjoyed Solo. I just felt like it was like one scene too long. I was like, after, well, like the whole scene with Darth Maul at the end, I was like, that could have shortened that, and I was like, that would have been satisfying in this movie. But yeah, I liked it. I think it got immediate hate for I don't know why.
It
Oh, yeah.
came out after Last Jedi. That's why.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
I'm just itching to not like another Star Wars.
Exactly. The cards were stacked against it, sadly.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Kabak cards. That's what they're called, right? Sabak. It's called Sabak.
Sabak.
There you go.
Sabak.
Anyone else want to? Oh,
Uh,
well,
I'm personally not a fan of Rogue One. Like I watched it once and
I'm
I fell
always back
asleep.
and forth with that
I
film.
agree,
It's
I
like
agree.
it's great, but it sucks. You know?
I might have to watch it again. But I
Victoria
did
was
fall
hurt.
asleep when I watched it. I'm so sorry, Victoria. She said
She like, where am I? I should not be here.
You know? But I want to know what's your favorite though, Laiba?
oh, my favorite? Oh my god. I'll have to say I don't know why, for some reason, A New Hope. I don't know why. It's just so like
Mm.
nostalgic for me. It's
Mhm.
just like cause like that's like I don't like that's the first one that got released and that just like builds the entire universe.
I get that.
And I do have a soft spot for The Force Awakens. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Good movie,
just-
in my opinion. It's a good
Oscar
movie.
Isaac.
Yeah.
Oscar
I
Isaac.
agree.
I'm sure Nick will support you on that.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Okay, I'll jump in because obviously I had that reaction to Rogue One. I have such a hard time figuring out favorites of things because I love The Last Jedi a lot. I love A New Hope a lot, and like Phantom Menace too. Even though it's the Phantom Menace, like that also has a lot of nostalgia to me. But like when I was like, I did a whole rewatch at the end of last year, and Rogue One is just it's just so fun. I mean, obviously it ends up being like a sad story, but like it felt like so much hope, like which is like the heart of Star Wars is like this hope of just one person can make a difference, and I'm like that really carried that message through, but also like I don't know, it's just like it was nice because it wasn't really based around Force users either, so I'm just like this is kind of different. It's kind of like the little guy, like the little guys, right?
Yes.
I don't know. I just enjoyed it a lot.
Little
But,
Crow.
like, I don't like. It's not for everyone, but
Yeah. Little Crow in the chat says, "I feel stuff outside of the main movies is almost always better than the mainline stories." I get that.
I will agree to that.
Yeah,
I will agree. The best stuff of Star Wars, in my opinion, is outside of the main movies.
Mandalorian, just say it.
Mandalorian's one of them.
Yeah.
Star Wars Vision now, maybe? Anyone?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And Nick, how about you?
I might get a lot. I feel like any decision you make is just like, it's gonna get me canceled. I like The Last Jedi. Okay, like I think it's pretty cool. I think it's good. When I saw it, like I was like kind of like at that point, when oh my god, I can't speak. When Luke leaves the Jedi Order, I've been saying it for years, dude. Jedi are just the worst. Jedi, I'm like so anti-Jedi. I'm like, they take kids, they like condition them to believe that they shouldn't love anything. They say they're peacemakers, but then they're generals in an army. It's like they're just hypocrites, man. I was so totally just like, yeah, man, Luke is right. Like the Jedi suck. But I think that whole like Laiba said, it kind of just expands on the world of Star Wars, and we got to see a lot of the background characters get a lot of like exposition for their stories, which ultimately gets shafted, which sucks.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really exciting to see. We got to see Poe like kind of take on a leadership role, even though he's like this hot-headed pilot. We get to see Finn become a little bit more like individual, as opposed to just being like a clone, or not a clone, but like a stormtrooper. So he has like his own free thoughts. And then we got to see Rose like expand and like be like a person, with her connection to her sister and stuff like that. And that was exciting for me. I was like, okay, we get to see stories that aren't about just Force wielders all the time. And then they just threw that out the window.
Exactly.
And I was like, I was all for the ride we were going on. And then they just did an immediate U-turn. And I was like, it makes me
Star Wars.
I didn't want to hate the last film because like everyone's gonna hate this film. But I was like, man, the legitimate reasons to not like this film.
There's definitely
But honestly, rewatching The Rise of Skywalker, like the parts that make me sad still make me really sad. And then like it's mostly a good movie. It's so beautiful and stuff too, but there's just those little things you're just like, they could have just not.
Considering some of the restrictions they had as well, I will give them credit that the Leia arc that they gave us, beautiful perfection in my opinion. They made me tear up.
So. I did like walk out of the theater a bit disappointed. I was like, oh.
Yeah, we got no conclusions of the stories that were set up.
I'm holding my popcorn bucket.
I mean, it's the like last movie of like a whole 9 film experience, and like it's never gonna live up, which is rough.
It's definitely not gonna satisfy all fans.
Like Endgame.
True.
I feel like we need a whole episode on Endgame and just like really dissect.
We could do a whole episode on the last 10 minutes of Endgame.
Oh man.
I will let the fanboy in me out. We'll need to get Danielle in here just to keep me under the control.
Oh man, she'll go off on the whole time travel thing, man. That'll be wild. Yeah, it's my biggest upset was just like with Poe Dameron, and just like he was supposed to be a leader, and
I know.
Even Leia told him like, "Oh, you can't just solve all your
He's the next
problems
general.
by jumping in an X-wing." So what does
Mhm.
he do? He jumps in an X-wing trying to solve all his problems.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, that's cool, I guess, but that's not what I want.
I will highlight this comment that we got though. Just it's a Little Crow saying, "Hot take: none of the movies are bad. They all have their highs and lows." And honestly, yeah, that
Mhm.
is absolutely true about Star Wars.
Yep.
Mhm.
Except Attack of the Clones.
Yeah.
I will stand that Attack of the Clones is the most boring film. Like it's so.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say it was a perfect movie.
I was
I'm
gonna
like,
No,
say,
it's
I'm
not
like,
a perfect movie. Far from. It's just I
mm.
rewatched it and it's like the whole way through, like just flat lines the whole way through. I don't know when a transition of like pace is supposed to happen, when scenes are supposed to take place. They just kind of just like always keep going. And
I will give it the Battle of Geonosis just because lightsabers
Yeah.
everywhere,
Fair.
and Jango Fett just getting decapitated was honestly funny to me.
Man. Okay.
Genuinely,
Okay.
like to this day, I still expect a head just to fall out
Yeah.
the moment Boba.
It's like-
It needs to plop out at some point. Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay.
But yeah, now that we've given most of the audiences an idea of what our stances are on Star Wars, let's engage in how we found Star Wars visions. Because I'd say it's very relevant to our podcast considering how Asian influenced it was, including all of Star Wars to begin with,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And for anyone at home who says Star Wars is not meant to be Asian, dear God, please do some research.
It takes one Google
It
search.
takes one Google search.
One Google search, and you too can become an educated human being about Star Wars.
Just talk to
But if you
literally
don't
anybody.
know, it's a lot of Japanese and samurai culture, and a lot of the fashion and influence, and too, especially I mentioned too with Padme is it Korean, Japanese, Mongolian, Chinese? Like it's
Mhm.
they pulled from everywhere in Asia.
The
For
heavy
that-
amounts of red in her main outfit in episode 1.
Yeah, the most
Screams
iconic one.
Asian.
Yeah. It's a lot
And just the
of
white
wedding
face ones.
attire too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah, let's start on a fun note. Which episode did we think we had the most fun with overall out of all 9 of them?
Tatooine Rhapsody.
I was literally gonna say the same thing.
Okay, we're all in
Tatooine
agreement on that. Nick, Tatooine Rhapsody, yeah.
No, it's
No.
the twins. It's definitely the twins.
The tw-
The
I get that.
twins.
That's
Fair.
my
I get
second
that.
one.
The twins
Twins.
is so cool, man.
to me, Twins is like the most visually appealing episode.
Yeah, that's it.
Also, Neil Patrick Harris and Allison Brie.
Well, that's who the voices were.
That's
Mhm.
who they are. It's
is
Annie
cool.
from Community and Barney Stinson from How I Met Your Mother.
And they
Mhm.
did a good job for that dub.
They
I think.
did, but
Yeah.
watching the episode, I'm just imagining Allison Brie having the time of her life in the voice recording booth.
Oh, yeah, I could like imagine her
Like,
faces
screaming.
when she's like
Yeah.
screaming. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's wild.
100%.
All right, let's talk
But
about
yeah,
Rhapsody since you guys all love Rhapsody.
I mean, you got Joseph Gordon-Levitt in it. However, anyone who watches it, you do need to listen to the main song in Japanese,
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
Mhm.
It
Did
was
you guys
Oh, I
listen to it
didn't-
in Mel?
I didn't. I was pressed for time. I started what
Ah,
3 p.m. today.
yeah.
I powered through it. But oh my god, yeah, no, it's just it was just so fun because it wasn't all just lightsabers and
Exactly.
Guns
That's what
and
I was
stuff, like-
hoping for.
it's just I don't know, it was just it's such a like I mean obviously most of Star Wars is fan family and that was very much it. But just that they're in a band, it's just fun.
Yeah.
And they're
With
like,
the
you know,
hut.
we're rock stars.
Also, for the record, I'm just saying this right now. That episode is in canon. I don't care what anyone says. That episode is canon.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
no way it can't be.
You're
Like-
about to hear my campaign for making twins canon, even though it doesn't make any logical sense.
Another thing about Tatooine Rhapsody, like, because when, like, it's honestly, it was number 1 on my list because I shed a couple tears
Aw.
too. Because I'm just like, I just had a good time watching it. I wasn't anxious at all. I was like kind of scared. I really connected to these characters, but they're just want to rock out. And I'm like, this is great.
Exactly. And I love for everyone at home, we are spoiling the episode. So if you haven't seen it, we're sorry.
This is not
Should have
fridge
given the
safe.
spoiler warning early.
This is not refrigerator safe.
Yeah, no. But I
Should
think
leave.
one of my favorite parts of it was the fact that when he pulls out the lightsaber one last time and he was like, relax, dude, it's just a mic. I'm like, ah, and then like the blue has like the little sound.
I was scared that thing was just gonna go off at some point. But I was like, no.
Like he's totally insane. And
Yeah, I
it
was
just
like, this guy's
impales
gonna
him.
cut his face off, man.
Yeah, but it was just so sweet. They're like, but we're just a band, and they're like, yeah, we're just a band, and then they just rocked out, and the day was saved because they were just a band.
Yeah.
It's just like, you don't have to be a crazy Force user. You don't have to be anything like so special in the galaxy. You can still save your friends, and it's
Exactly. And I even made a TikTok about it, going like, "Hey, anyone who can edit shit, can you just like make an anime intro using that song, please? Because it fits just so well."
Laiba, what did you think?
I love Tatooine Rhapsody so much. It just gave me really Scott Pilgrim vibes. I don't know.
Ah,
why.
okay.
Like, since the,
That's an
like,
interesting
like the
comparison.
opening scene, I was like Scott Pilgrim, and
I get that.
and like the animation as well. I don't
Yeah.
know, just like the little graphic novels. I loved it. It was so cute, but also like kind of dark.
But I
At the
also
same
love
time.
seeing that like the little like Boba Fett. And
Oh, yeah, they were
the
so
little
cute.
Jabba- I'm just like, they have
a
like,
chibi.
They're like,
it's the only one with like canon characters too. I'm just
Yeah.
like, this is adorable.
I know.
I think I was so confused. I was like, are they children? Is everybody children on this planet?
Are
No,
they
it's just the art
babies?
style. It was definitely a fun episode. I think it was fun to see like you said, like there can be stories without having to be like a crazy force wielder. And that like it just seems like, oh, if you're a force wielder, you have to choose a path that focuses on the force. No, you don't. You can literally do whatever you want. Like Star Wars is freedom. You can, if you want to go be in a boy band, go ahead. And that was just fun to see. It takes away from like the seriousness of like the Star Wars universe. And it's like, oh, you have a greater destiny because you're connected to the Force. No, this guy just wants to rock out, and we're all completely.
And maybe
fine
that's
with
part
that.
of his journey through the Force.
Yeah,
Honestly.
exactly. And then he did a
Rock out.
Force jump. I was like, oh, he uses the
did.
Force. I was like, oh, that's fun.
Are they gonna try to kidnap him now, or
No, he's
Where's
just
he
rocking
going?
out.
He's just rocking out,
Exactly.
dude. He's living that rock star life.
yeah.
And Nick, on a opposite note, because you're just like, oh yeah, like because this one was fun because it was like the complete opposite of the twins, basically.
Oh yeah, no,
which
absolutely.
you had a lot of fun with, and I know a lot of
Yeah.
people had fun with because
It was an excellent episode. We're not.
it
gonna
was
deny
that to the
Yeah.
extreme.
It was a perfect episode. Excuse me.
It was like-
Perfect
That-
episode.
Honestly, Twins is the episode that made me go like, okay, I have to forget everything I know about Star Wars, throw that shit out the window, and just watch this for what it is.
in a good way.
In a
good
honestly.
way.
In an absolutely good way. I love that studio since like I was a child. So
What's the studio that makes
Studio
it?
Trigger, although back in
Okay.
the day they were called Studio Gynax.
Okay.
But that was my favorite episode. I knew from like the get-go. I saw it in the trailer and I was like, that is Trigger. Like no doubt in my mind that is Trigger. And I found out they did two of them. They did the twins and then they did the
Elder.
Yes.
Yep.
Which was also a very good episode. But
One
it's
of my
so
favorites.
it just shows their range that they can do like something so serious
Mhm.
and then do something so like freakishly crazy and just have a good time with it. Logically it makes no sense at all, obviously. But
Doesn't need to.
I know I've had that dream of like someone riding an X-wing with a lightsaber. I don't know if it's through a Star Destroyer, but it was I didn't know I
Gemini.
wanted
The
that.
right hold of maneuver.
Exactly. I was like, I didn't know
A
why.
Gemini Star Destroyer
Yeah.
that's connected because they're twins.
Oh,
The
man.
dichotomy, and then landing on a sandy planet with twin suns.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, that final shot that they
Oh,
end
yeah.
on is beautiful.
That studio is known for just like not having well, they have great stories, but like they don't have to be sound enough because they just make up in so much style. They make up in so much like just pure awesomeness. It's like it doesn't matter if the story doesn't make a lot of sense. They literally just bring so much passion into the animation that it's just like I don't care that this doesn't make sense. This was like the funnest time I've had, and that's my favorite thing about that episode. Like you
Yeah.
can't
Oh, I
just
guess
turn your
this-
mind off and go.
Okay, on that note, I have one sort of theory to say Star Wars Visions does a better job at Marvel's What If than Marvel's What If.
It's true.
Yes, they
It's
do.
true.
They do.
It's
yeah.
true.
Did I stutter? Did I lie? No.
No,
Speaking
no.
the
You
truth.
speaking truth. Say it louder for the back row.
Mhm.
Yeah. But I feel like we also just covered like what our favorite animation styles were right there, and somehow for you
That
like,
wasn't my
Laiba,
favorite.
That
Oh,
wasn't
yeah, okay.
okay. Laiba, was it
No.
yours?
It was my second favorite.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Well, we know it's Nick's favorite.
Mm-hmm. I did love the twins' animation style, but I
love
do
it.
have a different
All right,
favorite for the animation style. I don't know if we want to get into that now.
No,
or
yeah,
Oh,
we'll
should
save
we?
that.
Please do.
Let's hear it.
Okay. Akakiri, that episode.
Akari, yeah.
And it's by Science Saru. I
Okay.
don't know anime studios or anything, but I just loved it. Something about it. I don't know why. Like some of like the cell shading on the nose and like the face shapes are so visually different, and it kind of reminds me of maybe a little bit closer to some of the cartoons on like that was on just growing up, but like not really. I'm like, it was so unique, it was so different, like each character was stylistically so different. Oh, is it Samurai Jack, the TV show? I don't know, it kind of felt like that.
Oh, I can
in a
definitely see
way.
that. I definitely see it.
But that was definitely my favorite animation style, and I don't know why. And they also did TOB one. Okay,
No,
that
it's
name is just
yeah.
great.
Favorite.
But I
That's
also really
favorite.
loved that was another animation style that I really liked, and it was the same studio, and I'm like, I get it.
Okay.
I like this. This is
So
good.
we have a
This
pretty
makes
good
sense.
split then, because you two like that animation studio. Me and Nick, we like Studio Trigger. Yeah.
Trigger.
Because
Absolutely.
my favorite one was from The Elder for some reason. Don't know why, but like The Elder had my favorite style right there. So yeah.
It had a very like refined like
Yeah.
feeling to it. It felt very meticulous in how they did their animation for that one.
Mhm.
It
And
looked like a classic anime.
yeah,
Just
yeah.
like a-
Kind
But
of like
also, sorry, I was just gonna say props to the duel for being
Oh,
the first
yeah.
episode as well, and just being so
Yes.
visually
yeah,
different.
it was a good introduction for the whole
I did
family.
not like it.
You did not
Oh.
like it?
I don't
Okay,
know.
well,
Like
dude,
I
We're
didn't
all
like-
getting canceled today, guys.
It wasn't my favorite story, but I loved the black and white with the little
Same.
pops of colors here and there. But go ahead, Laiba.
Like I love the black and white, but like for some reason I didn't like just like the animation of it overall. Like I love the color palette, but just
Mhm.
like the animation of it overall, it kind of like gave me a headache while watching it.
I get
I
what you
don't know
mean.
why.
I
Yeah.
can see how it can like mimic like strut lights almost, like they're
Yeah.
consistent in flashing. Yeah, I can see that.
It
Oh,
was
yeah.
done by the same people who did Batman Ninja, I think. Have you
That
guys ever watched
explains a lot.
Batman Ninja?
Yes,
No.
only
Yeah.
while stoned.
Okay, well, Batman Ninja, it's like that, but just like in color, and that's it's. Do you guys know what isekai is?
No.
Like, okay,
No.
so it's a genre in anime that basically someone gets transported to like a different world. So, Batman gets transported to like feudal Japan, and has to become like Batman Ninja,
Mhm.
and that's the entire premise of Batman Ninja. Even though he doesn't really become a ninja, he becomes more of a samurai. But whatever. Yeah, I like the duel. I think again it was a good introduction for it. I think the essence of color was really good. Just kind of
Mhm.
telling a story through just one color, which is red, right? So it was like cool to see like you knew as a Star Wars fan like red is associated with like the dark side and the Sith, and
Mhm.
when you find out that the guy is a dark force user, it's like oh that kind of turns this whole narrative on its head,
Mhm.
which is a lot of fun. I like exploring the dark side of the Force because it feels just like not as prominent in terms of like what it means as opposed to like a Jedi.
It's
And it's-
very black and white whenever we see it in the
Black.
movies.
Is that a pun? You're trying to be
Yeah.
funny?
Yeah.
You're trying to be a funny
Now that I
guy?
think of
That could be a little bit funny.
I was gonna say that too, like with the we don't really know the motivations and stuff of the Sith, and it was like I thought that was like a really cool like it's not really a cliffhanger, but like it made you think a little bit. This is like why is this guy collecting these kyber crystals from obviously other dark
Mhm.
side and Sith users? Like, is it to get them out of this world because he feels like a little bad that they're killing people, or is it just purely selfish and he just came to that village to not help everyone, but just to get the Kyber crystal? And just like, you don't quite know, but like there's a hint of like goodness that like, since he gave it to the chief of the village, who also kind of reminded me of Aang from Avatar too.
A little bit.
Like,
But
you
hey,
know,
what's
like,
nice is that
I was just gonna say, like, yeah, it was cool. Like, it left it on an open-ended note. You don't know.
I was gonna add on though, like it doesn't have to be open-ended because apparently they're gonna release a book called Star Wars Visions Ronin that ties into the duel. Comes out this week, I think. So
the 12th, I think. That's
12th. Okay, there we go.
So.
Yeah, October 12th. Yeah.
I could be wrong. We could both be wrong, but it is coming out. Yeah.
There is a book and it is confirmed. I ordered some for my store a few days ago.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Yeah. So hey, for those who like the duel, there is more content coming for it, and hopefully there's a season 2 for this show as well.
What would that mean though? Like, it's
more animation studios and just more one-off stories. Again, this is the better of Marvel's Twitter.
Yeah, honestly.
Yes. But at the same time though, like I would like a continuation for some of these stories.
Yeah.
That is, yeah.
Like the Ninth Jedi.
The Ninth Jedi has this.
Yes.
Has like
the Simu episode.
I don't think I saw the Simu episode. God.
Ninth Jedi is the Simu episode.
Is it?
Honestly, I'm so bad at listening I'm so bad at listening at like hearing these famous
I didn't
actors.
notice it.
I immediately
I don't notice any of them.
Oh,
I'm like, I know Simu's in this. I know Neil Patrick. I don't know, like Alison Brie, and all these famous people are in it. Couldn't tell the difference.
I watched the rest of whatever I watched in Japanese after Rhapsody because I was like, "There's no way this song is only in English. It has to be better in Japanese." Because there was just like, obviously the lyrics in Rhapsody were just like filler. Like a lot of the words just didn't make any sense. And I was like, okay, it has to be better in Japanese. And I was listening to Japanese, like, I'll just watch the rest of the season in Japanese.
I mean, fair.
So,
however, Joseph Gordon-Levitt's singing wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad.
No.
I still just think it just didn't.
What were the lyrics?
Yeah, the lyrics were just like off. They were just kind of weird. Like you're trying to shoehorn. Like you guys, we talked about Shang-Chi and how like the translations aren't exactly what they give you in the movie. It's like that. It's like they're not anywhere near the same lyrics as the dub over for the Japanese version.
Fair.
It just sounds better in Japanese. Yeah. I'm not trying to be like a sub or a sub or dub elitist.
Sub purist.
No,
okay.
You could watch it whatever way you want. It just in that particular case, just watch it in Japanese for everybody listening.
Fair. Well, I would like to add on though, Victoria. You said your favorite animation style was the Akari one.
Mm-hmm. That was my second favorite episodes, honestly.
That was my least favorite one.
I don't know. There's just like something, like with the animation and like his like forbidden like love with the princess of like trying to get her back and like doing everything to save her, and then like you realize at the end it's like, oh no, she like is kind of like that Anakin moment, like, oh no, like it's me who kills her.
Right.
And it was like his choice he knows like he will turn if he goes and tries to save her too. So he like had this peaceful understanding that he knows that's needed to happen to save her. So, and I'm just happy like she also lived after him. Just like, this is like really sad and heartbreaking, but like the story and these characters, and it's just like, I don't know, it really got me.
I love a good romance. Now. I'm a hopeless romantic.
I mean, what's funny is that Henry Golding's in it from Crazy Rich Asians.
What?
That's Henry Golding.
That's
it's
cool.
Snake Eyes.
I love Snake Eyes, not the movie, but
see, I don't notice any of these things, but I'm just it was so lovely, but also so sad, and like there's just the solemn acceptance that he had, and I don't know, I thought it was really beautiful.
I that like
yeah, no, it was like, because it was Tatooine Rhapsody, it was that episode, and then it was the Ninth Jedi for me. So,
not bad.
I don't know.
I love the Ninth Jedi. Clearly,
I don't know. Though.
I wonder why.
Just like the music was a lot for me in the Akari episode, just because like the little drumming or the
drumming.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that gave it like a good
lot.
pace or whatever. I don't know. Like it felt like it took
It
me
definitely felt
into
a
it a
bit
little bit
much
more.
for me, to say the least.
Is what is it?
Fair.
Star Wars is very much known for its music and its sounds. So it's like hearing that in anime was like kind of a trip for me. I was like, this is so weird. But also it just felt so right, you know? I was like this just hearing the original like orchestras and like all of these you know, compositions of music against anime. I was like, this is so cool. Like the mood is set very well. For all of these stories, and that's like all of them. They all do a really great job of doing that.
Yeah.
And I mentioned before we went live too, is like I listened to it on my iPad with AirPod Pros, and it had like the 3D audio going around. So it was just so much more immersive, and it was the coolest freaking thing. If you have the opportunity and have Apple devices and stuff, it's very good because it's just all around you, and like the little drumming will go from here to there, and it's just peak.
I will do so because like I do feel like I owe it another chance because like when I watched most of the episodes, I was like the last 3 episodes I was pretty tired, so I'll give it another try. But speaking of like least favorite episodes though, like what are your guys's? Because like now I'm curious.
The first one.
Oh yeah, I was about to ask Laiba that. I was like, is the animation like ruin it for you?
Kind of.
Uh-huh.
I just like couldn't watch it because I was like, I don't know.
It's kind of a headache. Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah.
Was it? Lucy Liu plays the bandit leader in it. Funny enough, as well.
Oh, that's cool.
I don't know why. I have most of the voice actors memorized.
You came prepared. I just came for a good time.
I mean, they had a star-studded list too.
Yeah,
so
they had,
it's like worth paying
plenty.
attention to.
Fair, but yeah, no. I don't know. Like something about like I understand what Laiba was saying about the duel. Like it's very flashy and can give a person a headache, to say the least.
Yeah. It gets confusing sometimes.
Yeah.
I do give it that. I do understand where that's coming from. What about you, Victoria? What was your
The
least
moment you pull out a spinning umbrella lightsaber, you're like, oh my eyes.
Honestly, like I thought, like after watching Duel, I thought it would be higher on my list, but then like things went above it. But the only one that I put below it, which ends up being my last one, was The Elder. I don't know. Like you say, you love the animation style. It wasn't to my taste, which is fine. But I felt kind of boring as a story. It was too regular Star Wars. It's just like, oh, Master and a Padawan, they come and find like this evil user.
It was definitely
they defeat him.
Safe episode, you know?
Yeah.
It felt the most Star Wars, which is why I think one of my best friends liked it, just because he didn't absolutely love everything. He did like The Elder though, because he felt like this is what Star Wars is kind of like and what it should be. So I can definitely see what you mean on that.
Yeah, like I mean, it's a really good Star Wars story, but I'm just like, after all these like different wacky, wild, more creative choices, I'm just like, this one feels like it needed a little bit more. Even though the story was good, the characters were nice. It's like, oh, like your bonds and you grow older and not everything stays the same. Everything's changing. Well, like this is nice. Just wasn't placing at the top of my list.
It definitely feels like something out of the High Republic.
Yeah.
That's someone who's been going through it. Yeah.
What did you think, Laiba? Did you like The Elder?
I like the animation style, but I definitely agree with Victoria that a show like Vision should kind of expand from the typical Master Padawan, like something like Tatooine Rhapsody.
Yeah.
Let's do something like that.
More anime style music in Star Wars.
I love the animation style of The Elder because it was like the classic anime that I would watch as a kid, right? Like One Piece.
No, One Piece.
I can't imagine trying to do Lord.
Yeah.
What was your least favorite? Not to say any of these are bad.
Favorite, like, when you say least favorite, like they're all just like up there, like they're all like SA tier, you know. So it's like the least favorite. Oh man, I know we all like the Ninth Jedi, but also I don't like the Ninth Jedi sometimes.
Okay.
There's like a part of it that just feels like it left me wanting too much. You know, it's like it felt like a pilot episode as opposed to like a snippet of what's going on already.
Yeah.
And which is why I like the other ones. They feel like they're already established and they live in this world, and you're just kind of getting like a sneak peek of life for some people. But for like the Ninth Jedi, it's like establishing an entire backbone of lore, and it gives. I like that it establishes this kind of like rules with kyber crystals. I think that's pretty fun. I like that a lot of them focused on kyber crystals because that's extremely anime, just to focus on crystals as a form of energy. But it just like it made me want more. But as soon as like I stopped thinking about it, like I was like, it's okay for me at least. We haven't talked about the Village Bride. Did no one like the Village Bride?
I didn't like it.
You didn't like the Village Bride?
I don't know. I think I was just, I don't know. I wasn't a fan of it. I don't know why.
It
Can't
was
explain myself.
smack dab in the middle for me.
Same. Looking at my list, I have it straight in the middle. I have it above the Duel. I'll give it that.
I do.
Okay.
I watched each one. I just ranked it as I did. So
Right.
Because I knew this was coming up. I was powering through it. I had to have some notes.
Fair. I don't know. Just like it's a fine episode in my opinion. Like it was hilarious seeing an old man use his helmet as like like a bomb.
Yeah. That was fun.
That was pretty freaking hilarious. And having the Jedi in it was like I liked the Jedi story, and I liked the way they interpreted the Force for non-Jedi characters.
Oh yeah, that was.
But
cool.
I didn't really care for the other characters, like the villagers and all that. You know, like they felt a bit static, right? So I did have that against it.
I liked it. I thought it was
fair.
It's like in the upper half of, if I were gonna rank it, it was like in the upper half. I think it was a very. I thought about like the positioning of all these episodes, right? And it's like definitely like the breath that you take after taking so much in, and after the first, I think it's like fourth episode, right?
Yes, it's the fourth one.
The fourth episode, like you take in the first three, and that's, it's a lot, and then you watch this one, and it's like a very like slow breath of fresh air, like chill out, relax, and then I just like that it felt very intimate on one planet as opposed to like the galaxy as a whole. I felt like that was pretty fun, and then just seeing the last like the last strike that she does in heels, and I was like, she's been in heels this whole time.
For the record, she does have one of the coolest lightsabers.
She does, yeah.
It's just a straight katana.
Yeah.
I like the pacing too of it. It was nice in that way, and it was because you don't really explicitly get to learn the Jedi story, but like at the end she's like, I'm not a Padawan anymore. Like she probably lost her master at some point. Like
definitely,
but we don't know. But but it was just nice. She was like, oh no, I'm gonna fully accept myself and my duty, and I'm confident that I can help these people. And she learns that from like just a traveler guy.
Yeah,
he wasn't really anyone.
Well,
but
what do you guys think about the expansion of like what this is now? Like, do you want more short stories, or do you feel like they need to continue some of these or bring them back for like a part 2?
So like the only
Ninth Jedi, they should definitely
yeah
because
that's back Simu. I want to see more Simu. First, I want to hear more Simu.
yeah.
Ninth Jedi, and I think the twins could also fare well, or even Lop and Ojo. Like those they seem to like set up something. You want to like, you care about these characters, and you're like, they will meet again, and that. And it'd be really freaking cool when they do. But like, I don't need a whole series about it, but like a second episode for those,
like webisodes. Kind of thing. Yeah.
I feel
like Pokemon does sometimes online.
Yeah. It's kind of difficult because like we get these, especially with like Marvel What If and like Visions, it's like people want continuations of these stories. And I don't know if I do, like I don't know if I want continuations of these narratives, because then they can become their own thing. But I feel like it'd become more distracting than actually like constructive and give back to like the original source of what's going on. I think they can be fun for sure, but I think it existing in its form as like one snippet or one season, I think it becomes it becomes a more appreciable in that way.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, and I get that. Like, even though I said like those three could have a second episode for me, I enjoy the fact that all these stories were kind of like started and basically finished, and it feels mostly concluded in a satisfying way that like What If doesn't do.
Yeah, I mean,
Because like What If
there's a
is
reason
canon,
why.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because What If is canon, but Visions isn't.
Yeah.
I mean, like they could have made What If like this and be canon without even touching the main storyline.
yeah,
That's true.
But
Yeah.
there's
This-
just that idea of interconnectivity that's kind of not
Yeah.
helping What If.
we're gonna sidebar just because like What If is like concluding. You guys saw the last episode, right? With
I haven't yet.
Oh, you haven't?
Oh, okay.
Never mind. We're not gonna.
Guess
We're
we're
gonna
gonna-
put this.
We're
We're not
I've
gonna
not
seen
gonna say
I've,
anything.
I've seen spoilers here and there. Watcher gets involved like we knew he would. Thanos gets split in half.
Oh yeah, that's
Perfectly balanced as all things should be.
Someone's
I mean,
asking
you do that. For,
an off-topic question. How do we feel about Squid Game? I have not watched it yet.
Neither have I.
I read all the spoilers because I don't do anything with tense feelings.
Oh.
My moment. This is my moment. I love Squid Game.
Oh, go ahead. Laiba,
I
go
worked
ahead.
on Squid
Have your
Game.
moment. You're gonna have your moment. Go ahead. What did you feel about it?
So good. Like, definitely not gonna spoil anything, but the ending is definitely building up to the second season, which I think is confirmed, or I'm not sure yet. But the director did say that they're doing a second season.
Okay.
But
Mhm.
I did just convince one of my friends to watch it today, and she's watching it, and I'm like, yes.
I think
And it's just like it's so
Yeah.
cool to see everybody watch Squid Games now, because like with K dramas and stuff, I used to get made fun of
Mhm.
in middle school for like watching them. That I would never tell anybody that I would watch them, but now it's like, haha. you're
Now
watching it
everyone's
now.
watching it.
Yeah,
Yep.
so. I gotta
Another-
ask. Sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say. Oh, I was gonna one short thing. I have seen that Squid Games also suffers the same things with the mistranslations
Yeah.
Yes.
that like Shang-Chi and like even like Tatooine Rhapsody songs and stuff. Apparently, like you miss a lot of context. But go ahead, Johnny.
I was just gonna ask, what's this whole thing with the cookie thing?
Oh,
I keep seeing people
so-
like, here's how you make the Squid Game cookie.
From
or
what I
snack or
understand, as someone who's
whatever.
not watched it, it's like they have to break it without breaking the picture, right? Is that
Yeah, so they have to like
Okay.
carve out, so it's like already carved, but they have to carve out this like little shape, like an umbrella, a circle, a triangle, a
Okay.
star, like perfectly, because like that's a game that they would play in Korea, I think. I might be wrong, but if you break it, like if the shape itself breaks, you lose.
Okay then.
But I think it's like a street candy too. So it's like
Yeah,
something
yeah,
that
a lot
kids
of
would
like old
play.
people would make it.
yeah.
It screams Saw to me. Have you guys seen Saw?
Yeah.
I know Nick hasn't seen
Yeah.
horror films.
I don't
yeah.
do horror films.
Yeah, no, for anyone at home, this is reminding me of Saw, the
Yeah.
series or the franchise or where the heck it is by this point. But yeah,
It's really
Yeah.
good. And I agree with Victoria with the translation, because it's not a spoiler, but one of the games that they play is red light, green light. And like as kids, you would go like red light, green light, but like the song that the doll sings is like a lot longer, and it translates to something completely different, but also means red light, green light.
Oh,
okay,
Yeah.
got it.
interesting,
Mhm.
interesting.
Wild. I gotta watch
Yeah.
it.
Yes.
It's how many episodes is it?
9, and they're like an hour long.
Oh dang,
Yeah.
it's an investment, but okay.
I would, but I don't have Netflix anymore.
Oh.
You got Free Guy.
I have
Oh,
Free
yeah,
You guys got
Guy.
Free
Yeah.
Guy.
We got Free Guy. Which
Canada
is
has
probably
Free
one of my
Guy.
favorite
Canada has
movies
Free Guy.
ever.
Which, by the way, since we're off topic right now, I like the end. I love the ending of Free Guy as a
I haven't
hopeless
seen it yet.
romantic. Oh, okay.
Oh,
Never
okay.
mind. Forget it.
Don't
I
watch it, you're in
cried.
Canada,
We're
like-
off the sidebar now.
I cried
Okay,
so
back on
much.
topic. Back on
Not just
topic.
because I was high. I cried so
I'm
much.
staying sober and high now, so we're good.
Oh man,
I will watch it tonight.
you gotta.
Good.
It's so good.
Message
So
the chat
good.
about it.
It's so cringy, but it works so well. I don't know how, but it just does a good job.
It's
in
just a
some
good
way. Let's just say this: it will come back to Star Wars when you watch it. You'll
Mm.
see.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Got
we're not fully off topic here,
Okay.
guys. Don't worry.
Wonderful.
We're in Disney properties
as long as-
still.
Exactly.
We just moved around the park a little bit, and we're like, okay, let's go
Exactly.
back
We
to
just went over to
Galaxy's
the
Edge.
animal kingdom. Exactly.
No, it's,
But yeah, no, we were talking least favorite episodes. Laiba, what was yours again? It was the duel, right?
It was the duel, and yeah, that's the first one, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
Hated
Johnny?
it. Not hated it, but like didn't like it.
She hated it, guys.
she
Just like we're
despises
not
this. She'll burn it.
like her favorite people not here. We don't. She just hates everything about the situation now. Now and
Hate it
forever.
here.
Oh man.
Nick, what was your least favorite?
Again, it was like the Ninth Jedi. Even though I
right.
still, it's like high up there. It's like.
Sorry, I
Yeah.
had to remove it from my brain just because that one hurt. But what's it? We haven't really talked about the Toby episode, the one that just screams Astro Boy.
I loved it so much.
Cute.
Also,
I
like,
loved it.
like Toby, like I was just Jedi Padawan. Toby won. I'm like Toby won. No, Kenobi. But I love the puns, and it was just so cute, and like his little fantasies of him being a little Padawan boy, and I'm just like, you're just a little robot, but you did such good things for the world and your little droid brothers and sisters.
That was like the last.
It was a sad episode.
3, right?
It was one. Of
That
the
was
last
one you
ones.
did not see.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
I didn't.
I was gonna
It's
ask Nick,
so
like, is that one of
cute.
the ones you've seen?
I was no. I don't think I caught the last 3, which is the Lop
It would
one.
have been Akari, Lop, and Ocho, and
Yeah.
would have been Toby, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah, unfortunately.
But-
everyone-
Toby
everyone-
won.
Toby won. It was so cute. It was really like Disney. It was like cute animation. Like it was very cute.
Mhm.
I loved it.
Yeah, everyone did their homework, and I
We're
And
not
I did not.
trying to rub it in.
I tried to elevate
I am.
everything else. I was like, guys, remember to watch Visions, and I'm just like trying to make everything
You
like.
guys have homework.
We'll come back next week and we'll grill Nick about the last 3 episodes. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Don't worry. I'm gonna make
So-
sure he gives us his thoughts about Lop and Ocho because I think he'll
Yeah.
like that
Okay.
one.
I will.
I on Lop and Ojo, I did really enjoy that one, and like it kind of made me sad too because family.
Lop
Lop
and
is-
Ocho
Lop
was
is
my
so
favorite
sweet.
episode. That was my favorite. I don't
Oh,
know
tell us
why.
more
It's just
why.
Just
I want to know
Keep
more why.
going,
Like,
please.
okay, here's like the first reason. Like it is the biggest middle finger to people who say that Rey is into Skywalker.
Okay, that's fair.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Like the story of
That's
a
accurate.
found family, it just feels like, hey, people who say Rey is into Skywalker, watch this episode and just fuck you.
Yeah.
Because it is such a good story. Like the animation's cute, but I think like what you said, Victoria, Star Wars is very much a family drama at its heart so far, throughout the Skywalker saga.
Mhm.
And this was family drama to the core. Right?
Yeah,
It
it
was.
was. And I kind of like how it was on like a planet that, like it's
It resembles
you know it's
the
been
one
through
from
a
Solo.
lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been through a lot. And like, but like their family and there's like the lightsaber. That was a really cool saber.
That was
There's engravings on it,
and just
I
one
don't
of
know.
my favorite things is the fact that you see melee weapons outside of lightsabers, which I'm like, and they take mass inspiration from Japanese culture itself because you got a pair of sais that Papa uses and Ocho uses. Like Nick, you might know these. It's like those like 3-pointed base nunchucks with chains.
3-pointed base nunchucks.
So like just imagine like a bow staff, but like you can
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, 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 yes,
connect
yes,
it.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. The Shang-Chi
But
weapon
yeah.
from the Phoenix, right?
No, it's like
yes,
an
yes,
actual,
yes.
is
No,
it?
I know what Nick's
Yeah.
talking about. Yeah, during the Phoenix arc, Shunji pulls out
He
these
pulls like
cosmic
this like
nunchucks.
pole- yeah, this cosmic
Yeah, and it's like a
Phoenix
pole.
nunchucks. And I was
Yeah,
like, dang,
it's like
Yeah,
killing
yeah.
everybody.
It was like
that was
that.
like
Yeah.
that long.
He should have won, by the way. Stupid ass
I
Steve had to
mean,
ruin
Cap was
everything.
trying to cheat.
No, Steve's an idiot. I don't know why. If you truly believe that, he would have gave it his all. Okay, he's a coward. That's what he is.
We'll need to dedicate an episode to Nick and me talking about comics now, I think.
God.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, no, I think that's definitely one of the reasons why I love Lop and Ocho. And the heartbreak that I hear during Lop's little moment with other characters. I'm trying to avoid spoilers for Nick's benefit here, guys. If you
I mean, it's his fault.
I knew what I signed up for coming onto the show.
It's his fault.
It's my own fault, yeah.
But yeah, it's just the emotions in it were there, and it genuinely made me tear up because, especially like we were mentioning how droids are the emotions of Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
The droid in there was the emotion of this episode, I think.
Yes. Oh my god. What is TD5?
You think so?
I think so. But I'm just like,
the way it just flies in with like a little picture and then just get out of here. Like, no, not the droid. Like I can't remember if the droid's okay or not, but like all my heart is just like, please tell me he's okay.
He was. I don't
tell
think
me
he
okay.
was.
Yeah.
Who's your guys' favorite droid?
Oh, in all of Star Wars?
Yeah. Do you guys have one? You guys ever think about it?
BD1 from Fallen Order.
Okay, never played that.
Can I be basic and say BB-8 because he's just so darn cute? He's
I like BB-8 too.
Yeah, same. Just a little match.
The little match, thumbs up.
Yeah.
I died.
How about you, Nick?
Oh.
Victoria seems to be
I
It's
don't know.
on
hard
it.
for her. She needs time.
It's hard. I can't pick favorites.
She is
They're
probably
so
the biggest Star
hard.
Wars fan here.
Yeah, I think BB-8. I mean, like, I just love everything about Poe, and his droid is just the funnest.
His relationship with Poe is everything.
Yeah.
It's so cute. Like he pets him like a dog. Like,
Yeah.
do you see that where he like scratches his belly? He's like, goodbye.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I love all of them, but like, I'm like, does Toby one count now? Like,
Yeah,
he was
whatever.
so
You know what? We'll count
It's
Toby.
like-
Toby
Count
counts.
Toby.
Toby
Count Toby.
counts.
Toby has so much heart, but like, I mean, like C3PO, R2D2, and like
It's KTSO is from Rogue One.
Dio and
K2SO's from Rogue One. That was the
K2SO.
voice by Alan Tudyk. He's amazing.
I love that droid.
they're
too.
so good. I love them all.
The
They're
sarcasm.
all good. Oh, who was the droid from Rebels? I haven't
Chopper.
seen Rebels Chopper. He's just a
The
maniac.
homicidal droid.
I don't know him well, but like, you know, I still love all
A droid that
Even
murders
if
is a
they're-
good droid.
He has a
Dude.
personality.
The
We're
amount of
pro-droid
people
here.
Chopper has killed, droids and people, just dear God, in Star Wars.
Pro droid. Everyone always undermines a droid, and then they end up
Exactly.
just fucking
You know what?
up
We'll also
everything
give
for
credit to
some
L3 from Solo. I will give
and-
credit.
reason. Yeah.
Elder, yeah. And who's it in the twins? I love that. Like, I love how it's like
Oh,
such a mirroring of like Luke and Leia if they were born in the
Yes.
dark side and stuff like that. You got like the dark C3PO. I forget their name, but like
Here, let
our
me search that real
duo?
quick.
Our duo, yeah.
Yes, our duo was my favorite name from that. I will
And
admit.
he had very much the R2D2 energy
Mm-hmm.
too, with like pulling. It's like, oh, I don't know if we can do this. He's like, ran in the
Let's go,
X-wing
yeah.
anyway. Let's go.
You said this, I think it was you that said this yesterday on Chaco's podcast, where it was like the droid was wearing a space helmet. Like he had an oxygen mask, he had an oxygen bubble, but Kare did not.
Again, it was the episode that made me throw all rules out the window for Star Wars.
It was but
The
like it's
best
so
ways.
funny because like it's intended that it's there. So it's like, no, we fully are aware that him being in space doesn't make sense. So much so we're gonna give the robot a space helmet. Just to let you guys know we're not dumb and we know what we're doing.
Mhm. This
No,
is a
man.
choice,
This is-
not.
yeah.
Oh my god, you didn't read the lore.
You don't know how space works?
It's anime. Space works how they want it to work.
Does space work different in
Droid.
Japan?
Mhm.
God. The droid's name in the twins episode is B20N.
Sick.
So
Best
I
droid.
don't know what that would be.
We're now a pro droid podcast where we're talking about droids for
Droids
an hour and a
only.
half. This is the one and
Yeah.
only episode.
IG11, I'm seeing on here. IG11 is a great one. We do love
IG-11.
Taika. Thank you, Taika.
Oh man.
Keep on
Hello.
rating this. It's always a good movie or TV show when you have a surprise Taika.
Honestly, it was interesting, and I'm excited to see what he's going to do for Star Wars. Seeing that he's
So,
doing his
yeah.
own trilogy, I think, that or his own solo movie.
I think he's adding at least a movie, but I saw the Suicide Squad and I saw Free Guy in the same week. And this was just like surprise.
Double
I didn't
Tyga.
realize he was in
Double
either of
Tyga.
them, and I'm like, surprise, Tyga.
I didn't
Tyga
know he
made me
was in
cry in the
Suicide
Suicide Squad.
And then
made
I
me
started simping. I'm like,
The man in pineapple shirts. I have 3 pineapple shirts because of him.
I'm pro a lot of things apparently in this podcast, but I'm pro Hawaiian shirts.
I have
Yeah.
a bunch.
I love
When
them.
I
Me too.
come to California, I'll bring some for us.
That's what we gotta do, Johnny. When you come to California, we're going to Disneyland in Hawaiian shirts.
Yes.
Just gonna take pictures all over the place.
You guys need to wear fanny packs and look like Asian dads.
You think I don't do that already?
I have one. I'll bring it.
I'm
It
trying to
has
get.
the It's right on the front.
can you guys get like the classic Mickey caps too?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Oh yeah.
And
I'm
the
gonna be holding a
camera.
corn dog in one hand
Oh yeah, the camera on
and the camera, yeah, and the camera with the sunglasses.
the
And
the
the
tape.
tube
shirt.
socks
they
above
flip.
the
Yeah,
things.
And I'm wearing
Oh my
flip-flops.
dad had them flip.
Yeah, the one that goes. Blink.
We'll see if we can get you some like low-key Mickey ears as well, Victoria.
yeah.
I have them.
Oh,
You
Don't
have
worry.
them?
I have them. I spent way too much money on shipping to Canada.
How much? Like 23, 33 bucks, I think it is.
It's a flat rate $50 to ship from Disney Store to Canada. So I ordered a bunch.
She had to go all in all at once, so she didn't feel
mean,
as bad.
I gotta
know?
spend the money that I make. So
She's.
I mean,
She's
yeah,
saving money.
fair, but like I wanted that freaking Shang-Chi jacket and couldn't even buy it for
saw that in like the Toronto store before they closed. I was
Oh,
this
yeah.
close to buying it, but I went for the sword sweater instead because I'm like, do I get the cosplay? Do I not? I don't know.
all Disney stores first closed in BC, and I was so angry about
Ours
it.
Ours
are
closed on the 22nd of September, so it's gone.
They're all
So
gone.
I'm sad.
Have you
I
guys?
got
Have,
it
have
as a
all of you
kid.
guys been to Disneyland or Disney World
Yes.
or either?
Yeah, I got
I've
this
been
at
to
Disney
Disneyland.
World.
Oh, fun.
Yep.
Never going to Disney World again, though.
Why?
Nice.
It's just in Florida.
Yeah,
It's
Florida's pretty
big.
bad.
Yeah. I grew up because I was grew up on like the eastern side of Canada, so you just go south
Okay.
to Disney World growing up. So one like a couple times just in my childhood. Not like the every year people. I didn't have money. It was like twice before the end of high school, but then when I had money, I was doing internships and I was in Seattle. Went to Disneyland and I'm like, oh my god, this is so good. Oh, so it's like just smaller and you don't have to spend a week and like 2 months savings.
Yeah.
My fiance and I were gonna be living in Disney World for like 2 weeks after our wedding for our honeymoon.
I like the sound of
so
that.
Love
We'll
that.
be gone for like 12 days.
That's amazing.
This is like a turn off my phone, don't bother me vacation. This is
Okay, so like 2 weeks, no Nick. Got
2
it.
weeks, no me, or like pre-recorded or whatever. But
Okay.
we'll
Just
figure
get
it
guests on instead
out.
of
Yeah,
you.
there you go. Boom.
We'll
Replace
do a
you.
Twilight episode.
No,
We'll
yeah,
do
the
all the
Twilight
Twilight movies.
Oh, I'm gonna get tortured.
And we're gonna
all
make Johnny suffer.
God. For those of you who didn't know, we are going to do episodes about Twilight, and we're gonna get quizzed on it. And if we get the wrong answers, I mean spicy noodles, they're gonna burn the shit out of my mouth.
Mhm.
So excited.
Should be interesting. I'm excited for it.
Well, Johnny, what movie are we gonna do?
We agreed on Pacific Rim.
Is that something you're like in love with though?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
dude, sea music.
Why'd you say that, man? You can't tell him that. That was our secret weapon.
What?
Isn't it?
See? That was our secret weapon. Why would you be quiet? You
We'll
can't.
find more. We'll ask them for the name of the Jaegers or something.
Yeah, that's a good one.
But no, that is something I'm invested in. If not, we'll do Power Rangers. We'll figure it out. But yeah. However, we still have one more question for Visions. We touched on which one we had the most fun with, which one we didn't like the most. But what's our absolute favorite? Because I mentioned La Pinocho.
Yeah, I like Tatooine Rhapsody just had to be. I mentioned it in the beginning. I mentioned it at the end. Like it made me cry. I feel like you get bonus points, and it has like such a rewatchability too because it's not necessarily like, like so like you're emotionally invested, but like you don't have to be like all that aware. Sometimes it's just like this is fun.
So yeah,
So I value that greatly.
it's like Free Guy.
I
yeah.
love Free Guy so much.
We need to do an episode on Free Guy now.
Yeah,
We will.
dude, we
We will.
can. Oh my god, you can just like all the references in that movie. Forget about it.
Yeah.
I'm so mad you haven't watched it because like I just wanted to talk about that ending.
I'll watch it. I'll watch
Oh
it
my
tonight.
god, it's like a perfect
We'll
ending.
see, because maybe Venom won't go right, considering all the reviews I've been
Don't
seeing.
say that. I'm seeing it on Saturday.
Yeah, I'm seeing it tomorrow.
I need to watch the first. I need to watch the first one and figure out how to watch the second one.
Oh
Fair.
man.
I mean,
First one
it's
is
at
good.
theater, but need to figure
American
that out.
theaters.
I'm a little bit more hesitant because I don't think the ones around here auto put like 3 seats
They don't.
away,
don't.
and they don't
Well,
put
I think
it in
it's
front.
by city. In Los Angeles, they don't, and I was very upset to find that out.
Yeah.
So
SF is 50-50, so
Yeah.
we'll see.
and get a matinee.
Sure.
Yeah.
Mm.
So,
Let's see.
Still trying to
Lapinocho,
figure
Captain
out my favorite
Rhapsody.
episode.
Nick, from the 6 you've seen out of the 9, which is your favorite
Which
Kinda
one is
rub
your
that in, huh?
favorite?
Absolutely.
so
It's
far?
the twins all 6 times. That's what it is.
Honestly, I expected it, but you know what? I was hoping to get surprised.
Yeah, no, it's definitely
No.
the twins all 6 times, and
Fair,
it'll
fair,
be
fair.
twins 6 more times. I just love that studio. I love the animation. I love that it just doesn't care. It's
The
best.
ridiculous lengths
Like,
they'll go to.
I made a TikTok about this. I legitimately believe that is the episode that made this entire thing not canon. And they already spent way too much money on these studios, and they're like, well, we can't not air it. And I was like, okay, we just won't make them canon, because this episode is just so out there. It's like, we can't let this into canon. That's not possible. What are we gonna do?
It'll
gonna
raise
top
the
that.
bar too high.
It's too high. There's no way. He did the Holdo maneuver with a lightsaber, riding an X-wing. How are we ever gonna beat that? We're never gonna beat that ever. How do you tell that to somebody and like, this is as good as it gets? It doesn't happen. That's peak Star Wars for me.
That is absolutely peak Star Wars. Like, you cannot get more extreme or fun with it.
Yeah,
from there,
exactly.
I think.
Riding an
But
X-wing.
live, how about for you?
I am deciding between Tatooine Rhapsody or The Ninth Jedi. Like, I need, because like Simu, I just
That's fair. That's fair. Let's dive into Ninth Jedi a little bit though, because I feel like we've only touched a little bit on it.
Simu plays a dad.
Sorry,
What?
what?
Simu plays a dad.
Yeah, the dad. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the man who forges the lightsabers himself.
Yeah.
Okay,
I saw myself a lot in that episode too. I'm like, there's like this adorable father-daughter relationship.
Yeah.
And I just think about Star Wars and like the lightsabers, and like when her saber, like she gets a color, and I'm just like, I wanted to be Kara, and I'm like, but like it was so cool when there was just no color at all. It was just so like you don't know,
The
like
shadow saber look
when
was
it'll
so
be-
cool.
For just a
it
slight
looked like
moment,
a dark saber.
I thought it was gonna turn red. I was like, this is gonna be the sickest episode.
and the one guy is like turned from like red back to purple,
Purple,
so he's
yeah.
like in the middle, and I'm like, this is
The
is
giant
cool.
Chewbacca looking motherfucker.
Yeah, that guy's cool.
Yeah.
I like that guy.
It was cool. Yeah, I was like, I didn't expect the Sith to be like all those people, but like I'm like, oh, it's obvious, like that's what it would have been. But like as soon as the lightsabers, like, because they were clearly setting up to it, being like, oh, it'll reveal like like based on the personality and based on the user, and they should have known that like people are gonna grab it and it's gonna be red. But I'm like, what? And it's like
They
such a
didn't know
like
they
obvious sign too.
I wasn't. Apparently, this was originally an idea George Lucas had for episode 6. Because remember when Vader grabs Luke's lightsaber and ignites it himself?
Mhm.
It was supposed to be red originally. So the concept of kyber crystals reacting to the person utilizing it in that moment has been in
Mhm.
Star Wars for a while. So the fact that this studio took that idea and went with it, I'm like, God, I would love for
Yeah.
this to start being canon. Because like I love the idea of like the bleeding effect for your kyber crystals
Mhm.
in the current lore, but something like this really resonated with me. for
Because
some
they said
reason.
like the dad too, the sabersmith, he was like, oh yeah, like I like tampered with the crystals a bit, so like they react to the people. So I'm like
the leg.
that one lot, like they didn't need to do that, but that was for the fanboys to be like, how does that work? But
I think
That doesn't make sense.
they never really explore like kyber crystals, how they work, like in any of the movies. They just kind of like,
I
oh,
was
yeah.
gonna ask that.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, did they?
It's
No,
all in the
they
books.
never do it. No.
Your books, your comics, all
And it
that.
seems like the most important detail but they just like continue to like not acknowledge it, even when it's like a big part of Kylo Ren's character. It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
you just know that
He
it's
has
got a
an
cross guard.
excellent comic book series,
Yeah.
by the way.
Yeah.
I do
He has an unstable kyber crystal because he couldn't bleed it right and then it's cracked.
Yeah.
That's so sad when you think about it. It's like
It's a
he
good
really
call.
couldn't
That's
do
why
it.
he has the exhaust because he like
Yeah.
can't
Crossguard.
control it. Yeah.
Was it though? Actually, speaking of a crossguard, the Margrave in the 9th Jedi episode, when he gets the lightsaber ignites
Oh,
it, he has
the
like the little
halo.
ring around it.
Yeah.
I was looking at that like, now that's a cool ass crossguard right there.
It's been
Which, by
cool
the
to
way,
see.
I would love to cosplay as him because he also looks like, was it Geralt from The Witcher?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I want
You
the
know.
twins lightsaber because they have that little guard at the top, and I was like, I like
Mm.
that. I love that. It's so.
I
Cute.
like how all the sabers were very
Unique.
sword
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
too. Like the katanas and stuff. I don't know.
I don't think
I
I've
don't
seen
know
like
many
fencing-
swords, but
what's it called? The foil, like a foil type of lightsaber. We've seen like katanas. That was like the most popular one. And then we
Mhm.
saw like all the different hilts in like the 9th Jedi, and then I've just been noticing like like they're exploring like different like sword types. It's like, oh dude, like it'd be cool to see like a foil what they use for like fencing.
yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Well, more for Star Wars to do in the future, to say
Yes.
the least.
Mhm.
But yeah. Well, I feel like that's a good point for us to start winding down, as it's like 7:50
Mhm.
for me here.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I would like to thank all of our wonderful viewers who showed up today live for our Twitch, not Discord. I was about to say Discord. However, you guys can join our Discord
Yes.
channel.
Yes.
So do join it. You guys can interact